welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's take a look at every current Champions League club and find their worst European result of the last 10 years. And there's been some shockers. Right, let's go. Bayern Munich. BATE BORISOV 3, Bayern Munich 1, 2012. Alright, Bayern Munich have been a European bully for the last decade, smashing most teams they faced. Price them up, they took 8 past Barcelona. The worst result though, without a doubt, losing 3-1 at BATE BORISOV in a Champions League group game back in October 2012. It's 8 years later and I'm still trying to work out how. This was the season Bayern won the goddamn treble, so conceding 3 goals away at Belarus, they had the likes of Thomas Muller, Frank Ribery and Toni Kroos on the pitch, and they were being absolutely torn to pieces by a pass to Alex Hleb, a guy who at that stage of his career was deemed a washed up European failure. Just what? Atletico Madrid. Academic 2, Atletico Madrid 0, 2012. Yeah, just 1 month after the Bayern game now, November 2012 in the Europa League, and Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid, who are on a 16-match winning streak in Europe, don't forget, they were the current holders of the Europa League and end up having their pants pulled down their ankles by Academic de Coimbra, some Portuguese club with a trophy collection that could probably fit inside a sock drawer. Wilson Eduardo scored both goals. Academica picked up their first ever Europa League win. Just a weird result. Lokomotiv Moscow. Lokomotiv Moscow 1, APOLLON LIMASSOL 4, 2014. To be fair, the 14-15 season was an utter mess for Lokomotiv Moscow. It's the Europa League qualifying round, August 2014. They dug out a hard-fought 1-1 first leg draw at APOLLON LIMASSOL at Cypriot Minnow, which sounds like a type of cheap toothpaste. And then they chuck all that hard work in the bin with a 4-1 second leg defeat at home. Red Bull Salzburg. F9-1 DUDELANGE 1, Red Bull Salzburg 0, 2012. Yeah, this was utterly embarrassing. Christ love it, it's July 2012, the second qualifying round of the Champions League, and they end up choking, losing the first leg 1-0 to F9-1 DUDELANGE, a team from Luxembourg with a stadium no bigger than a train toilet. Salzburg had just won the Austrian Bundesliga, were signing Valon Borussia and Sadio Mane that summer, and still getting knocked out of Europe's biggest competition by a bunch of part-time plumbers and mechanics from a country mainly populated by sheep. Shakhtar Donetsk, Malmo 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0, 2015. Yeah, this was embarrassing. Listen, Shakhtar Donetsk were dealt a tough Champions League group in 2015, and it must have been demoralising being used as the chew toy for Real Madrid and PSG. But still, there is no excuse for travelling to Sweden and losing to Malmo FF. They finished 5th in the Swedish league that year, conceded 20 goals in the group stage. Their marquee summer signings were a couple of Cardiff rejects, and they had a defence leakier than a malfunctioning dishwasher. So to travel there with Fred, Bernard, Alex Torreira and Eduardo and come away with nothing, not even score a goal, just a hideous result. Borussia Mönchengladbach. Borussia Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 4, 2019. Okay, there's nothing wrong with losing to Wolfsburg, the German Bundesliga club, but getting slapped around at home to Wolfsburg with an E, the Austrian team with an empty trophy cabinet and a tiny stadium, that is unacceptable. Yeah, the Germans kicked off last season's Europa League group stage losing 4-0 at home.
Nowhere near good enough, we move on.
Says it all, really. And to think within a year they'd be going 2-0 up against Real Madrid? Good Christ, that club must be so relieved Lilian Thuram forgot to use a condom. Inter Milan. Hapoel Beersheva 3, Inter Milan 2, 2016. Inter Milan have had a rocky decade in Europe ever since they won the Champions League in 2010. It's been mostly European hell ever since. Their worst result probably in November 2016 when they lost 3-2 away at Israeli club Hapoel Beersheva to sit bottom, yes bottom, of a pretty easy Europa League group. Utterly embarrassing. Conceding a last minute winner to Ben Sahar, you know, that former Chelsea ball boy, just awful. Real Madrid 0, CSKA Moscow 3, 2018. I know it didn't matter because Real Madrid were already safely qualified from their Champions League group, but still, sloppily losing 3-0 home to CSKA Moscow in December 2018, you just won the trophy 3 times in a row. Where was your pride? This was the biggest ever home defeat in Europe, utterly ruined by a bunch of Russian nobodies. Thibaut Courtois might as well have spent the game asleep at the couch, such was his impacting goal. It was a sort of blind arrogance that bled into the next round when Ajax stuffed 4 goals past them at the Bernabeu. Man City 1, CSKA Moscow 2, 2014. Remember how long it took Man City to adjust to European football? This was November 2014, 6 years after the takeover, and still they were sitting in bottom of their Champions League group with no wins in their first 4 games, with the reigning Premier League champions not even able to beat CSKA Moscow. Both Yaya Toure and Fernandinho were sent off. Future Newcastle misfit Seydou Doumbia, a guy who within 2 years was stuffed on the back of Steve McLaren's couch, he absolutely ruined their defence with both goals. How City managed to qualify from this group after that was an utter miracle. Porto. Rangers 2, Porto 0, 2019. Porto would have fond memories of Scottish clubs after beating Celtic in the UEFA Cup final back in 2003. Not this time though. Last season losing 2-0 at Rangers in the Europa League group game back in November 2019. Great win for Steven Gerrard, but Porto fans must have spent the night getting sick in the toilet. Olympiacos. Maccabi Tel Aviv 1, Olympiacos 0, 2010. Listen, Olympiacos are usually a tricky team to face in Europe. Just ask Arsenal fans, who are probably mentally traumatised of facing this team ever again, but absolutely chucking their European season in a bin back in August 2010, losing 1-0 at Maccabi Tel Aviv in the Europa League third qualifying round. This was an experienced Olympiacos team. They were coached by Ernesto Ernesto Valverde, and then they get slapped around up in Israel? I'm sorry, what? Marseille won APOLLON Limassol 3 2018. This wasn't even the first time Marseille lost to APOLLON Limassol in the last decade, but yeah, December 2018, and the French Giants wind up a miserable Europa League campaign by getting banged up 3-1 at home, finishing bottom of their group. Marseille and Florian Thauvin, Dimitri Payet, Lucas Ocampos, and Pamela Anderson's toy boy on the pitch, and they still end up being outshined by a team from Cyprus. Liverpool won, Hearts won 2012. Where do you want to start? Being knocked out of Europe by Besiktas in 2015 was pretty demoralising for Liverpool fans, as was losing to Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League 2 years ago. But the worst, August 2012, and Brendan Rodgers stumbling his way through a Europa League playoff with Hearts. Lads, it took an 88th minute equalising goal from Luis Suarez to squeeze them through the tie against, I repeat, Hearts, who finished 5th in Scotland, below Motherwell and Dundee United. Liverpool had Raheem Sterling, Steven Gerrard and Suarez on the pitch. Lads! Atalanta 2, Sarajevo 2, 2018. Listen, Atalanta have improved drastically the last 5 years, but still, go back to the Europa League second qualifying round in July 2018, and they were drawing 2-2 at home with Bosnian side Sarajevo. Try telling any Atalanta fan after that rubbish that they'd soon be on the verge of a Champions League semi-final. Oh, they'd be ringing up the local doctor. Ajax, Rosenborg 3, Ajax 2, 2017. Okay, the summer of 2017 was another nightmare for Ajax. Probably one of the worst summers in their history. Suffering a hangover from losing the Europa League final to Man United, they then exited the Champions League qualifying round against Nice. Okay, sure, fine, just Europa League it is. But then they go and mess up the qualifying round of the Europa League 1 month later, losing both home and away to Rosenborg and conceding a goal to a fat Nicholas Bentner. And this was a Norwegian team who'd almost lost the previous round to the Dock. This is a special type of Ajax bottle job. FC Midtjylland. Astana 2, Midtjylland 1, 2018. Yeah, another disaster, this time FC Midtjylland. Europa League second qualifying round, losing the first leg 2-1 in the last minute to Astana. A group of plumbers from Kazakhstan with a fan base probably still angry about that Borat film. I hope no one told them about the sequel. To be honest, I wish no one told me about the sequel. It was awful. Chelsea, STEAU Bucharest 1, Chelsea 0, 2013. Surprisingly, Chelsea haven't been embarrassed too often in Europe this decade. I'll go with the round of 16 first leg in the Europa League, losing 1-0 away to STEAU Bucharest, giving a perfect opportunity for the travelling fans to once again remind Rafa Benitez that they gladly see him smothered in his sleep. But Chelsea ended up winning the whole competition, so this Romanian embarrassment didn't really matter that much. Sevilla, SPARTAK Moscow 5, Sevilla 1, 2017. Listen, Sevilla have had another great decade in Europe, but this was undoubtedly a massive blip. October 2017, and yeah, they still ended up qualifying for the Champions League group before dumping out Man United in the next round, but their only group stage loss was a 5-1 pummeling away at SPARTAK Moscow, a game where Quincy Promes and Luis Adriano turned their defence into soggy wet porridge. Just another Spanish collapse. Krasnodar, Wolfsburg 5, Krasnodar 1, 2014. Lads, Krasnodar were formed in February 2008. The very fact they're in Europe every season is a minor miracle in itself. Anyway, they did okay in the Europa League group stage 6 years ago, picking up 2 draws against Lille, winning at Goodison Park, but it was conceding 9 against Wolfsburg, which really cost them second place. That 5-1 battering in Germany in particular, where Kevin De Bruyne ran the show and Nicholas Bentner nearly got a hat-trick. Rennes, Astana 2, Rennes 0, 2018. Yeah, Astana again, that Kazakhstan club. This time they embarrassed Rennes, stuffing them 2-0 in the Europa League group stage back in October 2018. Considering this was an exciting Rennes team who beat Arsenal that season, with the likes of Hatem Ben Arfa and Ismail Assar going forward, how did they return from Kazakhstan with a big bag of nothing? Lazio 0, LUDOGORETS RAZGAD 1, 2014. Yeah, this was incredibly poor. Big, proud, historic club Lazio, a worldwide club with incredible history. Here they were in February 2014, exiting the Europa League in the round of 32 against LUDOGORETS, a team from Bulgaria with a stadium no bigger than Leyton Orient's. You had the World Cup record goal scorer up front, and couldn't ruin the clean sheet of a Bulgarian farmer? Club Brugge 1, Midtjylland 3, 2015. Yeah, here we had Club Brugge conceding 3 goals home to FC Midtjylland in the Europa League group stage back in October 2015. This is arguably the worst result of Thomas Munich's entire career. No wonder he left that summer. Borussia Dortmund 0, PAOK Salonika 1, 2015. Yes, Jurgen Klopp was gone, but still, Borussia Dortmund had a squad jam-packed with talent during the 15-16 season, attacking flair everywhere you looked, so losing at home to Greek club PAOK Salonika, Robert Mack grabbing the only goal, I think this was a sort of toothless, brain-dead game which ended Adnan Januzaj's hype there and then on the spot. Zenit St. Petersburg, Dynamo Minsk 4, Zenit 0, 2018. Yeah, this is one of the most incredible European ties of all time. Go back to August 2018 and Zenit St. Petersburg were in crisis. The world had fallen in and around them. They just lost the first leg of the Europa League qualifying third round, getting smashed 4-0 away at Dynamo Minsk, some tiny club from Belarus. This was utterly pathetic. Branislav Ivanovic probably spent the night crying in the shower. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Shreves was ringing him up 6 times a day purely to laugh down the phone. And then somehow they wake up in the second leg winning 8-1. Yes, 8 goals to 1. Just weird. Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 8, 2020. Yeah, no surprises here, lads. One of the biggest freak results in the Champions League. Barcelona, yes, Barcelona Football Club, one of the great footballing institutions on the planet, losing 8-2 in a Champions League quarter-final, 8 goals in 1 match. Barcelona. This is like when Germany battered Brazil 7-1. Just so very, very strange. Juventus, Fulham 4, Juventus 1, 2010. Listen, I realise Juventus was still recovering from that 2006 relegation, which almost ruined the entire club, but still, I don't care. You're in the Europa League round of 16, you've been handed a 3-1 first leg lead over Roy Hodgson's Fulham. You even grab yourself an away goal at Craven College after 2 minutes. How does a team with 4 World Cup winners in it end up going out to a side with Chris Baird and Paul Konchesky at the back? Dynamo Kiev, Skenderbeg Korcha 3, Dynamo Kiev 2, 2017. Only one word here. November 2015, Europa League group stage and Dynamo Kiev lose 3-2 away at Skenderbeg, some random team from Albania. Thomas Kadar put in a defensive performance which showed exactly why he was always 9th choice centre back for Newcastle. Ferencváros, Sliema Wanderers 1, Ferencváros 1. It takes a lot to embarrass Ferencváros, but I think I found it. Go back to July 2014, it's the Europa League qualifying rounds, and Ferencváros are forced to scrape a late 1-1 draw at Sliema Wanderers in Malta. Lads, I lived in Malta for 6 months. I beat the Sliema. I'm half convinced I could have played for that team. It's made up of university students worrying about how they're going to pay the gas bill. So failing to beat them, I can only assume the Ferenc players have spent the previous night down Pachaville. The Maltesers will understand that reference. PSG 2, Ludogorets 2, 2016. Yes, being ripped apart 6-1 by Barcelona was embarrassing, but lads, that can happen when you come up against the best forward line in the world. But I'm going to go for the European team they played just before that one, when PSG needed a last minute wonder strike from Angel Di Maria to salvage a 2-2 draw at home to Ludogorets. You know, that bunch of Bulgarian accountants. You have all the money in the world and you wind up needing an injury time goal to prevent defeat. All they had to do was batter them 6-0 and they'd have topped the group instead of Arsenal. Man United, FC Midtjylland 2, Man United 1, 2016. I'm tempted to pick ASTANA for a third time, but to be fair, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sent out the kids and Jesse Lingard for that one. Sir Alex Ferguson's last ever Champions League group game ended in defeat against Cluj from Romania. That wasn't great, but the answer is FC Midtjylland, with Man United losing a Europa League round of 32 first round leg out in Denmark nearly 5 years ago. Pretty awful stuff, but hey, it paved the way for Rashford to save the day in the second leg. So if they'd never lost that first game, who knows, the kids might still have to go without lunch. RB Leipzig 1, Rosenborg 1, 2018. This was a nasty moment for RB Leipzig. This was a group where they saw Red Bull Salzburg win every game to storm the table, which is a bit like watching your elderly brother or the favourite son ace every school exam to impress the parents, while you just end up sticking pennies up your nose. But they could have progressed alongside them had they just beaten Rosenborg in the last game. But no. Tor Regnussen scores a last gasp equaliser to send Celtic through at their expense. Just a horrible night. Istanbul Başakşehir, Burnley 1, Istanbul Başakşehir 0, 2018. Listen, Istanbul Başakşehir have had a fantastic journey, but being dumped out of Europe in the Europa League qualifying rounds by Burnley, losing 1-0 at Turf Moor via a Jack Cork winner, not exactly great for the worldwide brand and footballing credibility, now was it? A team stuffed with Premier League winners, and you can't get past Phil Barsley, Kevin Long and Sam Vokes? What? And with that said, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.